Hi, this is Dave back in the garage, actually sitting in the car after replacing the carpet. Actually, didn't replace the carpet. I just, it's the same carpet. I just, put the fabric paint on there, and it's pretty good. But the padding and all that stuff was done, and the issues I had around the floor pan, all taken care of, and the seats and whatnot. So now it's time to do the heater box and the AC box. Actually, technically, I already did that. So I just want to show you what I've done, and maybe some things, if I had to do it over again, what I would do differently. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to turn this around. So here is the heater box, and the AC is now in place. And I took them both apart. I didn't take the heater completely apart, but I took the AC completely apart and replaced, or did a thorough cleaning. The heater had a flap that had some like a foam material that was deteriorated. I replaced that with something I just had. It's like craft store stuff, really, but it seems to work. And put that back in place, and I actually had trouble. I don't know if you can see it here, but in here is the where the heater core is, and there was a broken piece there that I had to go through and JB weld, put a little backer piece on it, kind of formed another piece there to fix that plastic. It was like a piece that was cut out. It's just split, just over time and age. But I replaced the heater core and the heater hoses in the firewall, in the engine bay, and just refurbish and clean this up. I painted this piece here because why not? So there's 4 screws on the outside that hold this in, and on the cowl. And then got the this piece here. There's 4 screws on each side to hold this in. And that's the only thing that's really holding that heater box in. The only other things on the heater box are 3 of these sliders, or I'm sorry, well, these sliders here for the controls for the heater and AC. Really, it's just the heater box, actually. One of them goes to a flap over here that controls the air coming in and out of the top. Okay, hoping I'm framing this right, but probably not. Anyway, so, and this slider, you can hear, is that flap inside, and that diverts air from the motor. Diverts it from the floor to to out here, which actually goes out to the vents. And speaking of the motors, I checked both motors, and they both work fine. They're not noisy or anything. They all came out great, which is awesome. I didn't want to replace those, and I didn't have to. Over here is the AC box, and I took it apart. I cleaned it really well. I also replaced the seals for the components inside. I'm just drawing a blank on what they're called, but anyway, so there's the expansion valve, I think, and the coils inside here. So replace the O-rings for that to the newer so I could put the newer coolant in, and put everything back together. There's this AC kind of, there's a slot in the back that you can slot it in and push it up, and then these 2 screws here hold it in. There's also 2 more screws over here that also hold a couple of other components here. One of which here is the looks like there's a vacuum line that comes from the engine bay, and that comes into this doohickey here, and which supplies vacuum to this vacuum actuator thing that opens up this flap on top, and also comes around and closes this flap. So that's what this vacuum line does. I assume you can set how much vacuum you need with this little knob here. I really don't know, but I'll figure that out later. This thing, which I also don't know, also mounts to this, and these relays also, they get screwed here, and then there's a ground point right there. The connectors there's some connectors that connect, looks like they connect to other places that it shouldn't, because I thought they would all be keyed and all have a special purpose for each connector, but they don't. Some of the connectors can be connected to the wrong place. The only saving grace on that is the length of the wire and where the connectors are, and that so it just makes sense of where it's connected. So hopefully I connected the right connectors in the right places and it'll work okay. There's a sensor or something kind of thing on the deep in the back there, and there's another one kind of up under here. You can see them obviously better when this box is out. I may have a picture of this. I took some reference pictures, and as many reference pictures as I took, I did not take enough, because it just didn't turn out right, or it just wasn't looking right. And one of the things that still kind of concerns me is putting all this stuff back together, how to route these cables and things, and hopefully everything will fit properly. But I'll worry about that later, I guess. I do have an issue with this. This slider here, we got these clips. Right? The clips are the same all around, which is nice. This clip, you see in different places, holds these cables down. And when I took this apart, one of these cables, it had slid under and it wasn't really working anymore. So to give it just a little bit more, holding power or whatever, I put some silicone in there, some kind of like a silicone stuff, so that hopefully it will hold a little better. There was one over here and one back down in there. But anyway, the clip here, this piece is missing, and the piece here is broken. So I'm just going to connect this with or tie this down with a tie wrap, and I might put some JB Weld or something to really make sure that thing doesn't move. And hopefully that will work. Alright, let's see what's under the hood. Alright, so here I am in the engine bay, and here are the hoses for the heater core, and it's coming through the firewall here. On the other side there's this foamy thing that I put back in place, but this piece, this rubber piece, was sitting in there, and this got dry rotted and very hard and brittle, and I just didn't want to see these pieces rub against the hose and create a problem, so I just removed it. Hopefully it'll be alright. If not, maybe I'll throw some expanding foam or something in there if that's going to be a problem. So here's another one of those clips that comes in and controls the water coming into the heater core, so it controls the temperature in essence. Here's the AC lines, and to get these back in place, I had to use a little lithium grease. I used a little lithium grease on these grommets, and they fit right in nicely. Otherwise, it was real tough to get them in. They go through. Same thing with the lithium grease here. These mounting brackets. Clean these up a little bit and put them in place. They follow along down, and they go. I have the old dryer accumulator, whatever that is, and for now, until I can get it replaced. I have another one already. I just don't want to put it in place until I'm ready for it. And then the condenser. The condenser had some rust on it, and the some of the mounting pieces I had to repair. But the condenser itself was fine. I dunked it in a fish tank, and I just to see if it would hold air and if it had any leaks, and it didn't. Everything was fine. It did the same thing with the hoses, the AC hoses, and everything turned out fine. Okay, the last piece of the AC puzzle is this guy, and I'm hoping I'll just test the clutch and make sure that's working. I don't know. Clean it up. I'm hoping I can clean it up, make sure it sort of can somewhat do what it needs to do, and just reuse it. If I don't want to replace this thing because it's so expensive, and rebuilding this thing looks kind of daunting. So I'm just going to see if this will work. This isn't going to. I don't have to worry about this quite yet. I'll probably put this in when I put the engine in. First, I'll clean it up, of course, and see what happens. I'm hoping. I also need to figure out how to convert it to R132 or ester or whatever the new modern stuff is. I have to figure that part out too. With the heater motor, under this thing, this is the heater motor. That was a tight fit, and with the heater motor in, made this piece kind of difficult to fit back in here. It's especially because I use this. I used like a silicone, like a window seal to seal the bottom of it here. And when I did that, I just put it on this plastic piece and tried to fit it down in here, and of course made a bit of a mess, but I tried to clean it up. It's still, a little bit of a mess, but I think it'll be fine. And that's it. Oh, so here's the vacuum line. Also, the vacuum line that comes in goes into back to the AC, into that controller that controls the vacuum to those flaps in the AC box and the heater box. And I'm going to put this thing back in place for that. Try to clean it up best I could, but it's fine. And that's about it. Also, here's I put this in place because just wanted to, I guess. There's that is the steering shaft that had the car parked to begin with, because I failed inspection because it was very loose, and it was kind of a problem. So next thing I'll do is run the lines, both the fuel and the brake lines. I'll run them up here, and put the booster and the master cylinder, and also the master cylinder for the clutch, and hopefully I'll get all that together, and I'll have all that in before I put the engine in, because it's tight when you try and do it with the engine in place. Alright, so that's pretty much it for now. The AC and the heater boxes are in. Things I would probably do different is the heater box was really tight up against the firewall, and I put some padding down on the floor. Now maybe I put it too much padding or something, because it really was kind of a bear to get in there. I think everything else, I probably would, if hindsight, I should have labeled all these connectors much better than I did. Even put a symbol or something on these things to let me know this goes to that, and a lot more reference pictures and better quality reference pictures. Those are the things I would definitely do better if I had to do it over again. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and all right, take care.